At the start of the movie, we see a boy named Louis Zamperini sitting somewhere and drinking alcohol. From this scene, we understand that Louis is a very mischievous boy and he never listens to his family members. After that, one day he is drinking on a field when a few people notice him and try to catch him. Louis quickly starts running away from them. At that moment, his older brother notices him and becomes shocked. The reason is that Louis is running at an unbelievable speed and his brother gets surprised after seeing him. He then goes to Louis and tells him that since he runs so fast, he should become a runner. But Louis tells him that there is nothing special about him and that his brother is much better than he is. However, his brother encourages him and says that one day he will become a great runner. After that, Louis's brother begins training him and supports him in every way. Later, there is a race at Louis's school and Louis also takes part in it. When the race begins, Louis stays in the last position. But when his brother shouts at him from behind and pushes him to run harder, Louis suddenly reaches the front. Louis runs with amazing speed and finally wins the race. In the next scene, we see Louis running while his brother rides a bicycle behind him and trains him. During these scenes, time passes and Louis grows older while practicing. Then the scene changes and we see Louis as a grown-up. After that, another race takes place where Louis once again finishes in first place. Soon, another important race is announced. The winner of this race will get an opportunity to enter the Olympics and be selected for it. Louis gives his full effort in this competition and manages to win it as well. At this point, Louis creates a record in his name because before him no high school student had completed a mile in 4 minutes. But now Louis becomes the first person to achieve this record. After this, Louis starts preparing for the Olympics. Before leaving, he talks to his brother and asks him to come with him. But his brother jokingly says that if Louis is not going to win, then why should he come and watch him lose? Louis replies that he already knows he may not win this time, but in the next Olympics he will come fully prepared. As Louis is about to leave, his brother gives him advice and says that many difficulties come into our lives, but if we keep moving forward and do not give up, then our lives can completely change. So no matter how hard the situation becomes, never lose hope. After hearing this, Louis leaves. In the next scene, we see him taking part in the 5,000-meter race at the 1936 Olympics. At the beginning of the race, Louis is far behind the other runners, but during the final moments of the race, Louis starts running incredibly fast and everyone watching becomes shocked. Even though Louis does not win the race, he still creates a world record. He completes the last lap in only 56 seconds, which is considered a huge achievement. Louis's family listens to this news on the radio and becomes very happy. We can now see a completely different confidence on Louis's face. His next goal becomes the 1940 Olympics because he wants to win a gold medal for his country. But when the year 1940 arrives, World War II begins. Because of this, the Olympics of that year gets cancelled. Now the story moves to 1943, where we see that Louis has joined the army. At this time, he is sitting inside a plane. There are a few other soldiers with him, and they are carrying out an attack on a Japanese army camp. They successfully complete their mission. However, when they start returning, their plane gets heavily damaged. The pilot makes an emergency landing on the way and saves everyone. In the next scene, we see Louis preparing himself for his upcoming Olympics. After some time, he arrives there and informs everyone that they have received orders from higher authorities saying that some people are stranded in the ocean and they need to search for them. However, the biggest mistake they make is choosing to fly in the same plane that was already damaged before. As they begin their journey, the engine of the aircraft suddenly fails in the middle of the flight. Because of this, the plane crashes directly into the sea. Almost all of the soldiers inside the aircraft lose their lives, but Louis, along with 2 other men named Mac and Phil, somehow survives the accident. The 3 of them quickly climb onto an inflatable raft. Luckily, they have an extra raft available. Inside the raft, they find a few supplies, including a box of chocolates and a bottle of water. Somehow the 3 manage to survive that day. Then on the following day, while they are talking among themselves, they notice an airplane flying above them. After seeing it, all 3 become extremely excited and begin shouting loudly for help. Unfortunately, the plane does not notice them and flies away. Later, Louis notices that the chocolate box has become completely empty. The truth is that Max secretly ate all of the chocolates during the night. Louis becomes very angry after finding out, but getting upset changes nothing now. For the next 3 days, they continue waiting for someone to rescue them. All 3 of them are suffering badly from hunger because they have not eaten anything for days. After some time, a bird lands on their raft. They quickly catch it and decide to eat it raw, but the taste is so horrible that all of them throw up immediately after eating it. Now they have no food and they do not even want to eat whatever they get. Because of this, they come up with a new plan. They decide not to eat the bird itself and instead use its meat as bait for catching fish. Soon they begin doing exactly that. They use pieces of the bird as bait and manage to catch fish. Even though it is clear from their faces that they do not want to eat it, they are forced to do so if they want to stay alive. Now they finally have food, and later that night heavy rain begins falling. Because of this, they collect and drink as much water as possible. But after some time, the rain turns into a powerful storm that creates even more trouble for them. At that moment, it feels like nobody can save them anymore. Louis then begins praying and says that if he survives the situation, he will spend the rest of his life serving God. Eventually, by the next morning, the storm finally ends and the three of them survive. On the following day, all three of them are sitting silently on the raft when another plane appears in the sky. Again, they start shouting loudly for help, but this time the aircraft belongs to Japan and suddenly starts firing at them. To save themselves, the three jump off the raft and into the ocean. This decision saves their lives, but unfortunately during the attack, one of their rafts gets hit by bullets and becomes damaged. Their second raft also gets small holes in it, but somehow they manage to repair it. Now all three of them are forced to survive using only one raft, which makes them extremely worried. By this point, they have already spent 45 days at sea. Then another terrible thing happens. Their companion Mac is no longer able to endure the suffering and dies. Louis and Phil become heartbroken after losing him because now they begin seeing their own deaths in front of them. They place Mac's body into the ocean. After that, both of them almost lose all hope of surviving. For the next few days, they simply remain lying there in a hopeless condition. Then on the 47th day, they finally notice a ship. After seeing it, both of them become extremely happy and believe that they are finally safe. But they do not know that the ship actually belongs to Japan, their enemy. The Japanese soldiers capture them and take them away to a prison camp where American soldiers are being kept as prisoners. A few days later, they are moved to another camp where many more American soldiers are present. After arriving there, they face severe torture from the Japanese. The Japanese commander known as Corporal tells all the American prisoners that they are enemies and deserve such treatment. While speaking, he walks toward Louis and orders him to look into his eyes. As soon as Louis does so, Corporal punches him very hard and tells him never to look at him directly. The following day, Corporal asks all the prisoners who among them is an Olympic athlete. Louis raises his hand and says that he is. Then Corporal forces Louis to race against another prisoner. Since Louis is already weak and badly injured, he loses the race. No matter how talented he is, nobody can run properly in that condition. After losing, Louis is beaten badly again. One day, some people from Japanese radio arrive and call Louis to speak with them. They tell him that his family has already been informed that he is dead, so now he should tell them the truth. Louis then speaks on the radio and tells his family that he is still alive and currently being held in a prison camp in Japan. But after this, the Japanese reveal their true intentions. They hand Louis a paper that contains statements against the American government. It says that America betrayed them and abandoned its soldiers. The Japanese want Louis to read these words on the radio because it is all part of their plan. But Louis refuses to do it. After that, they try every possible way to tempt him and promise him freedom if he agrees. They tell him that if he says those things, he can leave the camp and live happily with his family. But Louis remains loyal to his country and refuses their offer. Even though he knows the consequences will be terrible, he still rejects them. As expected, they send him back to the same prison camp. Then Corporal comes to Louis and tells him that he already knew Louis was strong, but now he would teach him how to obey orders. After that, he gathers all the American soldiers and tells them that each of them has to hit Louis one by one. But all the American prisoners standing there refuse to hurt Louis. This makes the corporal extremely angry and he starts beating Louis's friend Phil very badly. The corporal then warns everyone that if they refuse to hit Louis, he will continue hurting Phil. After hearing this, Louis himself tells them to do it. Then all of them stand in a line and begin striking Louis one after another. Some punch him while others kick him hard. Friends, you can imagine how terrible Louis's condition must have become after being beaten by so many people. One day, Louis is sitting injured beside his friends when the corporal comes to him. He tells Louis that he has received a promotion and will now leave this place. After hearing this, Louis feels happy because he thinks his suffering might finally end. But luck once again turns against him because after the corporal leaves, their camp comes under attack. Due to this attack, many American soldiers lose their lives and the camp becomes unfit to live in anymore. For this reason, the remaining soldiers are moved somewhere else. Unfortunately, the new place where they are transferred is the same place where the corporal has been promoted. The moment Louis sees him again, he almost loses consciousness because the corporal always treated him as his main target. Among hundreds of prisoners, Louis was the one he constantly focused on and tortured. Now in this new camp, we see that the condition of the soldiers there is even worse. Everyone is forced to work under horrible conditions every single day. One day while loading coal onto boats, a Japanese soldier suddenly pushes Louis from above. Because of this, Louis injures his leg badly. Friends, for them this place feels no less than hell. They are forced to work so hard every day that even thinking about it becomes painful. One day while Louis is working working, he becomes extremely tired and stops for a few moments to rest. At that moment, the same soldier who pushed him earlier notices him. He immediately takes Louis to the corporal and tells him that Louis is not working properly. The corporal, who already hates Louis, becomes furious after hearing this. He orders Louis to lift a heavy wooden beam that is lying in front of him. Louis is already weak and exhausted, but he still tries to lift it. Friends, after watching such a scene, anyone would feel Louis's pain. With great difficulty, Louis somehow manages to raise the beam. After seeing this, the corporal orders another soldier that if Louis drops it, he should shoot him immediately. Louis holds the beam over his head for a long time. After some time, his strength slowly starts giving up because in his weak condition it becomes almost impossible. But if he lets it fall, he knows he will be killed. At that moment, all the American soldiers stop their work and start watching Louis. Slowly, the beam begins dropping from above his head, but suddenly Louis remembers the words of his brother, who once told him that no matter how difficult life becomes, a person should never give up. After remembering those words, Louis gathers all his remaining strength and raises the beam again. Then he keeps staring directly into the corporal's eyes. The corporal repeatedly tells him to look down, but Louis continues looking at him. The corporal cannot tolerate anyone looking into his eyes like that. He becomes furious and starts beating Louis with a stick. Even after falling to the ground, Louis still keeps looking at him. The corporal becomes so angry that he continues beating Louis until he himself becomes tired. Later, Louis remembers his family and lies there for the entire night. Then one day, all the American soldiers are informed that the war has finally ended. After that, the Japanese soldiers tell them to go and wash themselves in the river. As they all walk toward the river, many of them feel that they are being lied to. But after some time, planes appear in the sky and they turn out to be American aircraft. That confirms that the war is truly over. After seeing this, all the American soldiers become overwhelmed with happiness. Everyone starts celebrating because they know they will finally return home safely. Soon supplies and food are dropped from the airplanes. All the soldiers begin eating happily after staying hungry for so long. But Louis does not eat anything. Instead, he walks directly toward the corporal's cabin. When he enters, he does not find him there. Only the stick remains, the same stick that the corporal used daily to beat him. Louis quietly sits there and notices a childhood photograph of the corporal with his father. Deep inside, Louis wanted to understand why the corporal hated him so much. Finally, after suffering through all these hardships, the prisoners return to their country. Louis reaches his homeland, bends down, and kisses the ground. After that, he reunites with his family. Then the movie moves toward its ending.